right, so we're rolling right back into it. Drax has decided to stray away from the group and has ended up getting infected with some sort of new spore with some of the myconids that are celebrating the upcoming, nuptials. So we're gonna come back to you guys in just a sec. I think what he said, like 15 minutes for you guys to get to the whatever. Drax, what are you doing?
I'm following the little ones.
They're just, at this point, they're just kind of like tramping around in like a circle, just kind of like hopping and celebrating, and they're not really going any specific direction.
God damn it. And I just keep going.
You just staying with them?
No, I'm gonna keep going to the hilltop.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to head up to Igmoris. All right. So as you make your way further up, you eventually get to a small little plateau right before a trail that goes further up to Igmoris, and you run into 4 armed myconids that are kind of like blocking the path. As you approach, they kind of lean their weapons in front of you to, kind of indicate you can't pass.
I need to get there.
They don't understand what you're saying.
And I just sit there.
Okay. You're just gonna stand there?
Yeah,
Wait?
I'm just
Okay. Back to you guys.
Question. They don't have, like, you said they don't have faces and eyes, right?
They have eyes, and they have some features that kind of resemble a face,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
They just don't have ears.
That's fine. For some reason, I thought they didn't have eyes, and I was like, wait a second. How did he read? But okay, he has eyes. We're good. I'm moving on.
Okay. All right, so it's been a few minutes. You guys have found your way to Rasharu's little secreted stash, and there's like 5 or 6 like small makeshift beds of this really nice, luscious and dry moss, and a couple of boulders that have some of that moss on it as well to kind of serve as, best version of a pillow you're probably going to get. There are like shelves kind of carved into the wall that have jars full of what looks like water, and some wrapped up packages wrapped up in, like some sort of Underdark, large leaf that look and smell like something that's edible.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just sniff, munch, and drink. Mouthful. You can go ahead and say what you're gonna do, but I'll talk after you. That
I was gonna ask. So there's one way in and one way out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to check to see if there's any secret entryways or like anything that may be hidden as far as like extra routes that we could get used to get ambushed or escape.
Okay.
Hey,
perception. Investigation. Sorry.
I'm eating too.
Anybody?
I would recommend we don't eat anything except our own rations. I'm just saying, personally, we don't know what the fuck's in this food and water. I got a 19 total.
So you do a good job checking around, and Rasharu is definitely an expert in this area specifically. And there's only the one entrance in, and seems pretty easily defendable by one person if needed.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm still eating and I'm still drinking. I'm like, look, we've made it this far, and then the guy didn't seem like he's trying to hurt us. In fact, he looks like he needs our help. And is anybody worried about where Drax is? Just anybody?
Drax is gonna do what he's gonna do.
Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna say, granted, the one guy that said we could stay here didn't have malice. However, if the other guy has other people,
Nat 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
if
Told
the
you
other,
those days
if
to
the
keep
other
it in the
guy
box.
has,
So 24.
if the other guy has groups with him, who knows what they've done to the food and or water to maybe make it easier to accomplish their goals. I'm saying our rations that we gathered, we know they're safe.
They're all with him.
You mean my rations?
I mean, our rations that we gathered, that you are currently holding for everyone, we know that those are safe. Do
you want one of my rations?
I have a mushroom for now, which I'm okay with.
I'm still eating the ration that's here. I'm like, as he's
I figure
communicating, I'm slowly
I'll save
eating.
this for the journey because we might need it. We don't know if we're gonna have to run. I might as well just take this while I'm here.
Yeah. Are you actually eating like that, or are you doing one of these things like a bird?
You know, I got 13 rations on me too. I'm good.
All right. So here's the deal. This guy's already apparently got a way out of here. This place looks like a good place to hide, but he already has a map. He has a way out. All we have to do is, maybe we have to fight. Maybe we don't. Maybe we just find out the way out of here and then leave them all behind. Point is, he knows a way. They've already got an escape route with rations along the way. Why wouldn't we want to use that?
We haven't even heard what their escape plan is.
We don't know what's safe and what's not. We don't even have details on the two factions.
Who has a map?
I think
I do.
He has a map.
Good.
So so
For a second there, I was like, please tell me.
I'm gonna have English stand up or like kind of be at the entrance,
I'd be like, we're so
just to
boned.
kind of keep watch.
I would never give him the map. He was never
All
trustworthy.
right,
with
so
it.
let's lay out the map real quick. Let's
Okay.
look at it. And can we see a clear way out of here?
Well, we tracked our way out of here before. We knew that from this city we were gonna continue around to get to the exit that's over here. I remember where on the map it was. I know we had a circle. We were doing the big circle to save time and shit. But I understand he has an escape route. We don't know where his escape route is going. We know that the path we have chosen earlier gets us out.
Yes, but
of
again,
the
this
Underdark.
goes into all about we don't know who's our allies or our enemies right now. We gathered that whole great cedar
By the way, is
thing.
the prince and them with us?
possibly-
Where are they?
We're by ourselves, I think.
Yeah, they
separated a while ago.
yeah, they
Yeah.
separated.
They
I think
said
before
they'll
you
be
got
back.
to the spider
Whenever he
webs.
burned all the spider webs,
Yeah.
Stool made his way over.
So we don't know if they're alive or dead.
No, I thought we brought them with us.
Oh, we did bring the group
They
with
did.
us. Yeah, we did.
They did regroup.
Prince Darendil and the
dwarf.
dwarf. Yes.
So they're chilling by the nursery with the mushrooms or something.
No, I think they would have followed you guys. Yeah.
So he's a little bit by himself.
They're in the background.
So I'm just saying, all right, let's say we do follow your path and we go out of here. All right, we first got to pick up. Are we going to even worry about where the hell the other guy went?
Who? Seraph?
Drax.
Drax. If he comes back, he comes back. My priority is not Drax.
Yeah. Well, how about Stool? We're going to need him to keep going.
Stool said that he wasn't gonna continue with us after he made it home. He said he would get us prepared up and then send us
So
on.
But it
Stool's-
sounds like this
Stool's
is not
out.
going to be his
Stool's-
home for much longer.
That's up to whatever civil war is happening here. That's not of my concern.
If a civil war breaks out here, what's the chances that it's not going to follow us on the way out?
At least if it follows us, it follows us. However, if we depend on someone else's route, who's to say that route doesn't take us further in? Because these people don't want to leave the Underdark.
Hear this out. At least if we know what route they're going to take, hear me.
Another Constitution saving throw.
If we know where they're going to go, then we can make a decision at that point if we're going to go that same direction or a different direction.
19 plus 4.
It can only keep you safe for so long.
So we are in Blingenstone? No, that's where we're trying to get to.
No, you're in Neverlight Grove.
Yeah, we're never like.
So
You'll
our
never roll that high. It's consecutively again.
So on the map, we're here, and our goal was to get to Blingenstone to get out, right?
Right.
We don't know where their escape route goes, but I know for sure that they're not leaving to the top side. We have no reason to help them with whatever they're doing here, or risk our lives at it. If we can get information that may further help us, sure.
You know, you had a dream about this chick, right?
Yes.
Correct. And who said that dream doesn't end the moment I get out of the Underdark?
If it has to come out, it has to
You
come
know,
out.
I do have a sense of manifest destiny. It's the kind of thing that destiny will follow you wherever you go. And if it followed you before you got here, just saying, you may have no choice but to face this chick at some point. Whether it's now or later, it's up to you.
Well, listen, I didn't even know about the Underdark until I got taken by the Dark Elves before the Drow. So
You don't have to know fate for fate to know you.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is before, if I was top, I'd never heard about the Underdark, so I'm not concerned with something else following me out. If I'm out, I got a whole world to run to. Down here, I don't know where I'm going.
All right, understood.
I'm just saying it'd be wise to get more decisions, like more options of what we're gonna do. Instead, we jump into a decision.
Well, how about this?
We're jumping into a civil war.
Well, how about this?
We're surrounded by all enemies.
The wedding isn't for a few days.
To just keep walking with them,
I was sitting down.
or sitting down, whatever you're doing.
you're still in front of them.
I'm just basically laying on the road, just looking up in the air now.
Okay.
Look, how about this? Yours is plan A. Let's look at plan B. Just quickly ask and find out what the route takes and what's going on. And if it happens to be the same way, then we have options where we can have allies on the path.
That's what I'm fine with gathering information, but I don't want to gather information with them under the assumption that we're going to aid them in any kind of way when it's not our problem.
Well,
We haven't committed yet, so
well,
that's
by us saying that we are committed, this is one-on-one. By saying that we are committed, we'll get more information than if we say we're not.
How long has this conversation gone on?
Real time, about maybe
No, I mean just like
like
how long do you guys
that we're
think
going-
you've been like
we're
strategizing
going
and
back and
resting
forth.
so
So like
far?
5-6 minutes going
Yeah.
back and forth.
Because everybody's throwing in at a point about 20.
Yeah,
5
this should have
minutes.
been like planning shit out.
Yeah. So what do you think? We find out whether or not their path leads the same way we're going under the guise that we're going to help them. And hopefully we don't get caught up in anything in the process.
Then if we're gonna do that, then we're gonna have to split up and gather as much intel, but we're still gonna have to. Stool and Drax know of Chocolate Chip. I think we need to make our own safe word just in case, because if we're gonna split up, we don't know what's already happened to them, and then we should have a secondary one in case one of them's already been breached with the password.
I'm
Preferably
okay with that.
nothing food related.
I mean, you know me, I love rocks, so I'm gonna and gold. So, it's either gonna be gold or shiny pebble for me.
Oh, go to the shower.
All right. I was like, so okay. For me, I will say,
I'll say shiny pebble. You'll know it's me if it's shiny
What
pebble.
about Golden Eye?
I like golden eye.
okay. Murder of Crows.
Golden Eye it is. It's too hard to work into. Hey, have you seen a murder of crows out in the other? Man, I think that guy looked like a golden eye.
So at this point, Stool ends up approaching Drax and, establishes communication and says, "What are you doing here?"
They wouldn't let me go through.
Why would you want to go through? By yourself? Are you wishing for death?
Look, I was walking with some small shrooms.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Come, I'll take you back to your friends.
No.
I have important matters to discuss. I think all of you should hear it.
That was quick. Hey.
But I got something to do.
Fine, suit yourself.
I'm still following him.
Okay. Stool kind of stomps off, and Bumble Stumble Drax is kind of following behind. So as all of this happened while you guys are having your conversation. So you, of course, I guess we'll go back to you if you guys had anything further to discuss. And
No, I mean, we came up with our code word. I think, should we start making our way back? I mean, we're not going to get any real rest here.
I think, we're not going to get any real rest, but we can at least get some rest. We're already here. Let's take a few hours to sit.
He wants his slots back so bad, and he's trying to convince you guys.
Our whole thing was to get here to at least get some rest.
Go ahead. Why don't you rest up? I feel perfectly fine. I'm just going to I'll stand guard with your...
Yeah, we could take turns standing.
Oh, boy.
Taking guard.
Ingress don't even need to sleep, so he's fine.
all right. So as you guys have kind of hashed that out, maybe 10 minutes later, Stool kind of like steps into the little cove that you guys have dug out, and with Drax kind of following behind, opens up some spores to establish communication and says, okay,
Password.
chocolate chips.
Booty holes.
Does he seem more Drax than normal?
What happened?
Stool immediately turns around facing Drax and pulls a weapon.
I'll ready my fucking knife, and so will Ingress. And Ingress was at the gate or at the entrance, so he's, I guess. Next
What
to
is
them.
our plan? He didn't say the right password. What do we do?
Hold on.
Shank him?
God damn. I see that. I'm like, okay.
You have one final chance
4.
to give the right password. Dexterity saving throw.
There you go.
Dexterity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Disadvantage.
First and foremost, I've never seen Stu pull a knife. This is exciting.
It's a, he probably just grooted a
I didn't
fucking-
describe what it was, but it's kind of like a weird looking mallet.
Oh.
Oh, he's gonna bludgeon you to death.
6? Okay. So this is a part that's going to surprise everybody. The speed at which Stool can actually move when needed. Quick as lightning, a viper strike. He swings his mallet with just enough force to knock Drax unconscious.
4 times.
Where was that before, Stool?
Wow.
I didn't have my weapon before.
Well,
Oh, that's.
point made, but damn. I could have given you one of mine if you couldn't
You
fight.
a rock if you could have just hit people with like that fast. I don't even think you need a weapon with being.
I
that
couldn't have further distractions. The news I have to share with you is of grave importance.
quick. Okay,
That's a fair point. We should probably tie him up.
I'm down.
I've got
Okay.
rope.
All right, let's use it
All right, so Drax is tied up.
We tie him up pretty well.
and gag him.
Just let me know when I'm waking up. I kind of feel like this is gonna get kinky.
So Stool kind of cuts right to the chase. There's a very distinct possibility that all of those who are loyal to Sovereign Basidia, myself included, may not end up staying in Neverlight Grove. However, we have to make sure that we choose our time properly. And in order for us to do that and make sure that we get as many people out safely, we are going to need your help. Sovereign Basidia has given me permission to, I don't like the word negotiate, but offer additional assistance to you, knowing that you need to head to the surface, and provide you with some much needed and helpful provisions. For instance, if you're able to help Circle Leader Lubamoob with some extermination tasks, Sovereign Basidia will grant each of you 2 greater potions of healing.
When we say extermination, are we talking about like bodyguard duty or more like assassin?
What bodyguard exterminates anything?
This is a fair point.
You know, for a bird.
There are key pieces, there are key things that we need to gather, and key people that we need to make sure are free to leave at the right time. In order for that to happen, some of the normal duties that we have need to be completed. Unfortunately, many of our brethren have been converted to whatever is going on, so we have less people to handle those duties. So in order to keep the appearance of normalcy up,
I have a question. Instead of potions, well, for me anyways, I'm not going to speak for them. Are there any unique items or even tomes or things of knowledge that I might be able to barter for instead of the potions?
there are. Sovereign Basidia is well versed in many magics, and I'm sure would be able to provide something else besides a potion if that's not what you want.
Yeah, that would mean a lot more for me anyways. Now I know that the builders were under Philo's kind of general reign or his inner circle. Are there any builders that don't follow his new ideologies, even if there's just one?
No, all of the builders are under.
Very unified.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I'm nudging him in a moment and going, told ya.
So let me rephrase. Since you're talking about extermination, what are we trying to exterminate? Like a pest to keep the community going?
I'm not sure exactly what the nature of the help is needed. That's something that Lubamu would be able to explain, if that's something.
So just to make sure that we understand this correctly, we help eliminate a few people, and then when your key guys are gone, you're going to help us get to where the surface faster and give us aid in that option. Not just because this escape route we were debating as to whether or not it was going to help us get to where we need to go. I mean, we're happy that you're where your people, but you know.
Sovereign Basidia does have information that could be helpful in pointing you in the right direction to get to the surface, in addition to making sure you have necessary supplies. That I've traveled with you enough to know that the potions of healing that could be provided would be immensely helpful, given you don't have much in the way of healing powers between all of you.
Okay, and did they give you any intel as to what's their plan so far? Anything more to this?
How close is shit to hitting the fan?
If I'm being honest, we probably have several weeks, 2, 3 maybe.
Quick question.
So
One more
We
question.
should montage still
And
long
I-
rest.
And I point towards Drax. You know, you guys talked about spores that can control brains and stuff like that. You got anti-brain spores or something for this guy?
Yeah, do you think it's one of those?
It's clear that something is happening. I don't know exactly what. Unfortunately, not knowing what it is means that we don't have an effective way of combating it at this point, other than just a person's inner resilience sometimes can help them overcome.
Have you met this guy? Inner resilience? It's a thing we call rhetorical.
Your sovereign has yet. You're gagged. Your sovereign has yet to meet him.
Nobody said I was gagged.
He said,
Oh, he said you should be gagged.
And he agreed.
He agreed to the tying up.
I think we're the guy, but I
You
assume
can
the
spit the
guy-
gag out. Go for it.
I figured we would have tied him up and then he would just be like, just imagine.
Could he be looked at to see if maybe there's something else that,
Welcome back.
like by your sovereign or something?
I inspected myself on the way here, and initially when I met him, and there's clearly something off. I unfortunately don't know exactly what it is.
Oh, that's what, because you said your sovereign has like magical.
Yeah,
Knowledge.
Sovereign Basidia's been studying, but unfortunately we still.
Oh, he looked at it also.
Little mushrooms.
Can I try something?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Can I have you two guys hold him still and hold his mouth?
Sure. Hold on.
I'm gonna bleed in his mouth. That weird blood. Let's see if it does anything.
The weird blood.
I don't know what it is. I was expecting my blood to be red or blue. And then you said it's black, and I was like, ooh.
He has the black viscous goo that comes out instead of red blood.
So I'm just gonna try it. Hope it does something helpful.
Which is gonna be so awkward because it's like just like
Constitution
slow
saving throw.
goo that's going into.
By
his
the
mouth.
way, Jim Jar's sitting there going,
All you're seeing is me going.
You're
bleeding
an
into-
accomplice of this.
It's like black mashed potatoes.
Cool. 6.
Roll 2 d8s for me.
Is my wait? Can I? Oh, I got a new weapon. Is it necrotic? I have no fucking clue. This is an experiment for me too.
6 on 1. 6 again.
Okay, so you take 12
Damage.
damage of a certain type.
Is there any physical effects that happen?
Yeah, as soon as it goes into his, and it's ingested. As soon as it's ingested, you see like some of the veins turn black as it like kind of creeps and like a darkness spreads through his chest, and it kind of stops like right here before it goes down too far.
Stop that!
And he starts convulsing and clearly takes some damage from
What did you do to him?
I have no. I wanted to test what this did as well. I didn't know my blood looked like this.
You're gonna use him as you put something in him and you don't even know what it does?
Of course, I don't know him. And he walked off, and he came back all fucked up. I might as well kill him if he's bad, anyways.
Oh.
Note to self.
You bitches are next.
So he definitely needs assistance now, Stool.
Can we get that potion in advance?
I can see if Sovereign
Just
Presidio
one?
can.
Yeah.
He's fine.
We're probably gonna need as much help as we can, so he probably needs to get better. But
Did it help? Did it help?
no, he's convulsing on the ground.
What is that?
Maybe you didn't give him enough. You should give him more.
So noted that my blood can. Okay.
But that's ingestion.
Hey, are you still bleeding?
Oh. I mean, I guess my hand. I would have gone like this and squeezed.
Here, put some in here.
And I'll drip out.
It's like 2 drops.
That little pouch, by the way, I just take it and just coat a few arrowheads with it. Just put it back in my quiver.
Oh, man, smart.
Spear. Now I know.
I'm not gonna quote any of my darts because I don't know what it is or what it does.
I didn't touch it. I just treated it like any other fucked up substance.
Then weaponize it.
All right. So just to make sure I understand correctly, Stool.
Spore.
We're
What?
It was the spores.
Oh,
spores.
spores.
My radio.
I've got Tropic
Okay.
Thunder just going into
Never go full retarded. My brain.
Don't ever go full. No, it's kidding.
I got the hand movements and everything down. I'm fucked up. I'm going to hell.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
You know, same page. I was like, oh, he's going full retarded. Don't go full retarded.
Oh, I can go for it.
No, please
we're
don't.
good. We
Please
want to
don't.
keep
We're good.
viewers.
We're at a right level right now.
Yeah, that's a good. They'll pass.
Okay, so what are we doing?
So guys, we're gonna say this in common real quick, quickly. Do we go with this? I mean,
He said we got a few weeks. I say we rest. I kind of wanna
we get more info. We find out what's going on.
get more info. We have our code words.
Mm-hmm.
So, how about this? These assignments that Obsidian has for us, not Obsidian, what's his name?
Lupamoob.
Livermove has for us. Does he need all of us at the same time, or just one of us at
Is
a
it
time?
like a different
or-
task per person?
Given that it's based on extermination, it might be best if all of you
We all
does he need-
participated.
Does he need this like today, tomorrow, 3 days
It
from
is.
now?
It's something that has to happen before we work our plan to leave. So
Let's
there's
give it a nice rest.
not really a rush. It
We
can
should-
happen this week. It could happen next week.
You guys
but
want to handle it tomorrow? I mean, I'm getting no benefits from it, but I'm saying at least we can get a general.
Remind me of the short rest thing again. Do you get slots on a short rest?
No, we get.
How long is the long rest? And you said the wedding's 2 or 3 weeks out.
Yeah, it's a few weeks out.
And does he need this done this week?
no, it can happen this week or next week.
Montage through a week.
That's what I was saying. But I figure
Okay, cool. So how about this? We get the lay of the land. We get an understanding of our what. We get familiar with the terrain. If we do have to fight, we are better. It's better to know where we're fighting. I could look for vantage points. You could look for shit that probably died.
So should we tell them like?
so. We spend the week resting and scouting.
Yes.
That, okay, we can let them know like, hey, we're gonna take some time scouting and like to get familiar with, because whatever he's gonna have planned, we're gonna want to be ready to help out.
And he's gonna have to teach us exactly. We'll have to study the targets a little bit.
So
But there's one thing I know is when you're going to do something, study your target.
that's fair.
I was gonna say kill it, but that works too.
Why?
No, that's fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is this gonna go away during this week, or do I gotta roll now for a week's worth?
So those other rolls I had you doing afterwards, like every few minutes, that was just to basically see if you were going to succumb and pass out. The actual saving throw, like if we're all agreeing like it's going to be a week of like scouting and whatnot.
with the potion as an advance payment.
Yeah. So okay, we'll say that Basidia did come like during this, within like a day and brought a potion. All right, so the very first day, this is crucial. The very first day, like after like a day, 24 hours essentially passed. Drax, I'm gonna need you to roll that Constitution saving throw.
$16.
Okay. So the very first night was touch and go. It's for Drax, who, as you guys took turns, like, kind of keeping watch or like, just being up and, coming in and out, doing your scouting or whatever, you quickly determined that someone had to be around to watch because as he's like kind of breaking through and his body's fighting off whatever it's fighting off,
I'm gonna make it do, baby.
it was definitely a harrowing experience for him and very uncomfortable, constantly shifting, like the worst symptoms of a fever, combined with like horrible body aches, like a breakbone fever kind of thing. There was a lot of difficulty getting through it. The good news is Drax has come out the other side and his body's been able to fight off whatever that infection was at this point. So we'll say like during that week, the first day or two was a little difficult for Drax, but he is
Came off of a hell of a detox.
All right.
So on about day 3, we're gonna try to hit him up and be like, so
This is the plan.
have any recollection as to what could have happened to you that made you
I
all
was following the little mushrooms, and they poof, and it was the best I've ever had.
You don't talk funny no more?
so stay away from the poofs.
Yes, unless you want to
Stool.
get real high.
I mean, I
Is
know we
Stool
have to.
with
I
us
know-
at this point?
Your spores are inhaled, right?
No, they're contact.
it's physical contact.
Any way to protect ourselves from it? Because you said that your spores would help us be less receptive to others.
Because this might
And
cause
how does
complications.
Drax have an immunity to it?
You would have
This is
the
different than what he
spores
does.
that we've been using to communicate help protect against normal spore servant spores, for lack of a better term. These new ones are a different thing
Does
entirely.
Drax have now the antibodies to fight it off?
There's only one way to find out.
Let's find the little ones!
Dude, from this week of recon, I'm assuming we're montaging through this week of recon. So we're
Yeah.
just gonna ask what happened through the week of recon. So during this week have we been able to identify a look, a smell, or anything about those other spores?
They are a weird mixture, like as far as we're talking about color and consistency. It's a super fine, like, the spores that Stool and other myconids release to communicate are kind of like they're like a little bioluminescent themselves, giving off like a very faint, like yellow greenish kind of glow, very very faint. In doing your research and kind of like inspecting and looking around and scouting, you've noticed that the composition of the other spores, likely the ones that Drax encountered, they are a weird mixture of like black and red and like purple, and not like a glow, but more of just like a sickly color to them, and they're finer as far as like the consistency. And you've also noticed that only the myconids that are very excited about this ceremony are the ones that occasionally will release it. Some of it seems intentional, and after it happens, you notice that other myconids within a day start to also look forward to the ceremony. Some of it is accidental, and some myconids have been hit by it and haven't succumbed as well, at least not yet.
Okay. And then, so in this time frame that we're taking our montage week, how comfortable with the lay of the land and the village and so forth?
You guys know your way around, yeah. You know that, in fact, let me go ahead and bring up a map for you.
And while you're bringing that up, last question: has Lubamoob, I don't want to call him Lubamoob, has he pointed out our targets?
No, we were waiting until the week's end.
You could point out. No,
Okay.
I wanted to study and be like, that's our target, that's our target,
Fair
that's
enough,
our target,
yeah.
and watch them.
Ooh, this will be interesting. Okay, give me one sec.
Again, assassination means knowing when they're vulnerable, knowing when they're not.
Learning their habits and whatnot. Yeah.
Okay, so you've kind of understood the lay of the land here. This right here, this second, yeah, that's Igmoris. This section right here is where Sovereign Basidia and Philo typically will commune with other circle leaders and other myconids to kind of plan the daily activities. Philo has been leading those a lot more than Basidia has lately. This section right here, this is the small little tunnel that you guys use to get to your hideout in and out.
So we're overlooking the place.
This section here is as you guys have been doing your recon, has been referred to as the Garden of Horrors. Horrors.
Okay.
Horrors. And of course, Igmoris here. So, and this is a little lake. This right here, this section, is where Lubamoob is.
Where were the babies? I just want to keep him away from them.
Yeah,
They're actually right here.
Next generation, perfect. So there was, during our week that we're doing, since we're doing like rotations to like find information, there's two things in particular I wanted to look out for, because I know you were looking for targets wise. I wanted to look at how every day I walk by the babies. I walk by the babies every day. But I want to see exactly how they're grown. And then the second thing I want to do is, as I'm walking through the city, I want to really observe how the structures of the mushroom stalks or whatever buildings that they make, how they're structured, and then even if there's like a day I can kind of observe the builders' work and how they do their construction.
Okay. We'll do that real quick. That'll be a little bit easier, and then we are going to circle back to the actual recon on the specific targets, because that's going to be fun. I just thought of something different for that. So, in observing them, I would say, do me a favor and roll an Arcana check.
Arcana? Okay. 12.
12, okay. So what you can tell is that some of the newer structures that have been kind of led by Gaspide as like the lead architect and the Circle of Builders leader, what you've noticed is that a lot of the newer structures definitely seem very different. Like some of the older structures, and you've gotten this information from Stool as well, they definitely have the appearance of almost being like kind of like they're molded out of the earth. Like things are kind of crafted to kind of blend in and create an environment that seems natural and also efficient at the same time. Some of the newer structures, however, are definitely a lot more elaborate than Myconid would normally build, and you get a faint sense that there's some sort of like abyssal influence on how these buildings are constructed and grouped together. So there's not really a good vibe coming from that.
Is Yggdrasil or whatever the big spot is that one of the newer ones?
Igmoris has been there for a long time.
That's one of the older ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you ever attempt to have a conversation with Gaspy during this time?
Gaspine is who?
Is the leader of the Circle of Builders.
No. No, once I asked Stu if any of them were cool, I just generally watched them as I moved around.
By the way, did we ever run into our
Seraph? Is it Seraph or
Seraph?
Seraph. Seraph.
Yeah, you occasionally see him around, and every time he seems very jovial, waves and says hello, and says that he's very excited for the upcoming ceremony, and
okay?
that he's glad that you guys have chosen to stay.
Is it me? Do you think he might have been hit by those spores?
100%.
Okay.
I messed with his head last time we saw him, and he freaked out like he was before, like he was fighting within himself. So I could probably push him over the edge.
No,
Not right now, though.
Hey.
Please.
save it. We might need it.
All right.
Okay, so
Assassination info.
I'm going to ask you for a nature check.
Just him or all of us?
Him, he's the
Okay.
one been specifically kind of looking at the targets.
We're kind of all working on this.
Cool.
Just on.
I was monitoring babies and buildings.
So
Don't know. I need to know the structure. of how
my
buildings
first
are.
roll is a 9. Do I have advantage on the nature check? Yes. The white dot means advantage, right?
That means you're proficient in it.
Yeah.
So you basically get an extra bonus to it already, so you don't get advantage.
Okay, cool. So 9.
Okay.
So you don't recognize the creatures necessarily. You notice that one of them looks like a large serpent-like creature with some appendages that kind of separate and break out that lead to like a little mouth that kind of comes out. It's very large, and it needs to be killed so that Sovereign Basidia can reanimate it as a potential guard and defender for the new colony that they intend to establish. It's going to be critical to being able to fight off other Underdark creatures as they make their way. The other thing is a big hulking like plant fungus like creature. It's making its way through the let me see, do I still have the map up? I do. It kind of spends a lot of its time around the lake.
Where did the other creature spend its time?
The serpent one.
Oh, the serpent one?
Yeah.
But does it just randomly walk around? Does it have a pattern?
Is it like outside the village?
It's it's actually not in this area at all. It's a little bit out on the outskirts kind of.
Okay.
I would say like this entrance right here.
So that's going to be more like a hunting party situation on that one.
But it's because it's out of the outskirts. It's mostly alone.
Yes, it is.
While this one's in the middle, where everyone.
This thing is in the middle. It's also alone, and it's just at this point it's gotten too big to be helpful to the community anymore. Based on it just kind of being like a rodent vermin kind of deterrent, exterminator, whatever. It's starting to get a little out of control, and just it needs to be put down, not in a sense of reanimating, but just to kind of get it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So that
So only
one's
2 targets so far that were pointed out.
Yeah.
all right. And so I'm assuming all this information has been relayed to us as well.
Yeah. Hey guys, look. At least 2 of the targets. One of them is kind of in the center, big, bulky. You guys have seen him walking around, rodent-looking, plant-looking guy. But if we go after him first, I think that's going to cause a lot of attention. On the other hand, snake face on the outside.
Perception check for me real quick. I just want to help out with a little bit more of this for you.
Okay. From just him or?
Yeah, from him.
Okay.
Because it's specific to these creatures.
Well, we were all talking.
19.
In your observation, you can tell that if we're talking about difficulty, the one near the lake seems to be a lot easier to work with.
Okay. All right, big lumbering guy. Not as easy to assassinate quietly. Not sure how we'll do that. We'll have to lure him someplace, I guess. By the way, are these assassinations, just out of curiosity, are we supposed to keep them quiet?
No.
They're just like chores.
Routinely, as another thing you guys have noticed is that new spore servants are brought in. Sometimes some of them are brought in before they've been turned to spore servants. There's been there's like underground cattle-like creatures called Roth. A few of those have been brought in and slaughtered. So there's a lot of
Is there a spore order that they give them, like by order of the spore? I now slaughter you. Anything like that? I just need to know if there's any protocol.
No.
Before I go wailing on somebody.
Yeah, there would not be an issue at all. It's commonplace for things to just kind of happen in this area. And in fact, a lot of this area here. Where's my mouse?
There it is.
There it is. A lot of this area here, so like if you go between 1 and 3, like down in here, a lot of this has zerk wood that's been animated by them as like natural defenders, and they often will slap down and like hit creatures that may just wander in. So
I stay away
it's
from that area.
common to see
Cool.
and hear things.
So guys, this guy though, he's kind of in the center. He's a big lug, but he looks a little bit easier of a target than
I don't think
Snake Face over there, who's
if we're gonna
creeping
help,
me out.
we shouldn't do anything in view where they could see what we can do.
Well, maybe we don't go all out.
If they have a general gist of what we can do, though, they can
Do you have
set up a general
anything?
gist of precautions.
Do you have anything that
Right,
might be
but
like a stealthful?
I
Which
say
one
we
was his
go
priority?
outside.
Did he tell us? Did Lube tell us which one is his priority?
Lubamoob would probably say that the one near the lake would be a priority. The other one is again just like a helpful defender kind of thing, but this one is kind of interfering with the a lot of the gathering abilities. Like they want to make sure they're stocking up on rations and supplies as much as possible.
I vote Serpent. That's my preference.
So you want to take out the harder target outside of the
Take out the hard target outside, because then if we take that out and the one chick can reanimate it, if we do got to make a run or we need just an extra defender, we got backup. This, granted, helps out them get the resources and prep, but this is going to help us if shit gets real.
You just want to reanimate for yourself.
I did want to take a piece of bone from it, yes. But it's not a bad idea. Then we have 2 of them.
Okay, well, all right. What do you say?
I hate to admit it, but I actually do agree. And the reason I think of it is,
I'm sorry.
if it's going to take us time to
Underworld has frozen over.
He agreed. You heard?
well, if we get injured and we need more time to heal up, at least we'll have more time if we go after this guy first versus this guy.
And again, outside, we can go all out and not have to worry about them really seeing what we can do, even if it's just a
Stool's gonna first of all, Stool's with you guys. He's got his mallet, like he's ready to actually help with this endeavor as well. And says, well, there's no reason we couldn't do both. Perhaps maybe do the easier one first, and then we can take care of the other one as well. I can tell you this, that there's rewards for each, and Sovereign Basidia is certainly going to
Split the
be.
party
I
up.
say we work our way down. We hit hardest and then do the easiest task.
That's not how you do things.
Yes, you do all the hard stuff first, and then you have all the fun, easy things just to knock them out. That way, you get the hard stuff done. You feel great, and everything else it's just a snowball.
How about 2 of y'all go to one and then 2 of us go to the
No,
other?
hell
I
no.
don't
The
know
last
that.
time you
That's
walked
not-
away, you came back all.
That's right.
Right.
We need to stick together. And Stool, are you helping with these tasks?
Absolutely, I will help.
Oh, he's
you.
got his
It's-
mallet.
it's-
Nice.
2 worms, man.
We're over here. Where's the closest guy?
We're
one's
equal
like
distance.
over
They're,
here,
they're
the
about
other
equal
one's over
distance.
here.
Yeah.
I start walking to the closest one.
We could just leave him and go do the other one.
We could do that.
You could.
Let him get the easy one.
Let's not do that.
Which one are you walking to?
The closest one.
Okay, during this time, it's been at least a week though, right?
No, it's not. If the
Yeah,
cave's
you-
over here, this is the closest one. ain't it?
Yeah, we'll say that you guys, before you decide to actually go and do this, you've completed your like at least 1 week. So
long rest.
go ahead and mark yourself for a long rest.
Flipped off anyways.
Well, I mean, your health, right?
My health was fine.
You got that
I'm-
potion.
Oh, okay.
No, I was before that. I was at full health. I was only knocked down 12 points.
Look at all those spells left. They all came back. Beautiful.
The one thing you've been trying to get. Look at that.
So as you all approach and you're kind of grouped up and you approach the lake, you can see this thing in the distance. And you three, Jim Jar unfortunately doesn't have this experience, but there's something different about you three. You all get flashes in your mind of some sort of weird city sewer on the surface filled with a rank moldy smell. You get this vision of bodies laying on the ground around this large creature, and then it kind of flashes away.
Wait, but
You still haven't clicked it?
And you find yourself facing,
But I've physically been there, right?
well,
My guy?
yeah,
I've physically been. Gotcha.
you still get the vision.
Yeah.
So
cool.
So this is out of character. I'm gonna enjoy this, but back in character. What the hell was that?
We're doing this again.
I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
This is what killed us the very first campaign.
This is what ended us the first campaign.
Around the same level.
And he was stuck inside it the entire time.
What the fuck are you guys freaking out about?
Oh my god. This is the easy.
Birdman. Flank to his right. You and your creatures flank to his
I'm
left.
not listening to you.
Do we have
No,
a,
when did he become a leader?
I'm sorry, do we have a close up on this map, or is this
Okay.
are we taking up the whole battle?
yeah,
That's
I'm trying
All right, cool.
So it's, you want me to put it like there? Middle or something?
actually, if you could put it right on that.
Yep. All right, so this is a like a pool area, right?
That was like a big toilet.
There's a slimy looking thing over there.
So we'll put boop, boop, boop.
Cool.
So you're not technically in combat yet, but like I said, as you guys approach, you kind of get that vision, and it's a weird thing, almost like deja vu mixed with a little bit of like a brief flash of like a previous life that you may have lived.
Would that be coverage?
Yes.
The rocks and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So is the tree. If we're gonna
All right, guys. So if we're gonna do this, let's not be stupid. Let's see if we can get strategically around him.
he doesn't really give a shit because he's just walking around doing his own thing all the time, right? He doesn't. We've walked around him before, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
So
We should focus on range, right?
Are we?
focus on what you're good at.
I personally, if this is going to be the case, I'd like to, out of combat, just kind of go here, and if that's a bush that I can hide in, I'd like to go in there.
How
That's
far is
not
the
me.
creature?
This is me.
From you, it is 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, about 30 feet.
Isn't this me?
No, that's
That's
me.
me.
That's you.
So
Okay.
This is you.
Oh yeah.
this is. Everybody get in position of where y'all want to be.
That's what we're working on right now. So who? That's your.
That's Ingress. So I'm gonna put me here, and I'm gonna put Ingress here. Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay.
Am I hitting something?
Damn it. And then let's see. Oh shit.
paint in the garage.
I am.
I just didn't want to paint a lot.
You know what? I'm gonna also get beside Jim Jar. Actually, is this like a?
Is that
Is this
gooey
actually
thing?
doing anything? That
It's a fungus that's kind of growing near the lake.
am I able to stand on it, hide behind it, or anything like that?
I would say it's you go to try to stand on it, and it seems like it starts to crumple right away. But it could provide partial cover, maybe.
Okay. I should ask the ceiling height. Is it like? Are there?
Oh, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of feet.
And there's none of those mushrooms that swat me away or anything like that, right?
There's none of those near here now.
Okay, actually, I'm gonna stay right here in between these two, and then I'm actually gonna go at a more of a floating position, elevate it, and I'm gonna put myself at a height. I would say this thing's like 15 feet tall or whatever,
There's
Maybe
water
10.
right here.
10
Yeah.
feet. So I will put myself at a 20 feet off the ground.
How deep is this?
you peer into the side, and you kind of look in to kind of see if you can see a depth, and it gets very black, maybe 40 feet down. So it's at least 40.
But it's shallow from here to here.
Yeah, and perception for me, real quick.
Sure thing.
Some view and fingers.
I think my perception is +1. Checking real quick.
Versus hitbox is so big,
Yeah,
man.
so
it's hard
18.
I can make
18?
it smaller.
You notice a very large thing kind of like undulating under the water, deep down. Large serpentine shape.
Shall we do this?
All right. Well, can we do like a stealth attack before we go into?
I'm gonna cast Scared Flame.
I would.
Scared. It's not sacred flame.
It's sacred.
Oh.
Where are you gonna be at?
Oh yeah, I never. Okay, stool is going to be over here. I didn't think of that. Over here next to Ingress and Shu. And I would probably allow you guys again, because this thing's just kind of mindlessly going around doing its business. I would grant you guys a surprise attack for the opening salvo.
Prior to this, so there's only going to be one person that can attack, right? Or can we all attack?
All of you can attack, even at the same time.
All right.
Well, then that constitutes as a sneak attack.
But it's probably going to have to wait for next time. Stay tuned. We'll be back.